Hello everybody. So this is a look at Codewars, codewars.com, and the question here is find the parity outlier. And I've done some problems in the past using Python, but today I wanted to start using Rust, and I've got this one which is basically it's a pair of arrays, and the arrays have some values in, and one has all of the values being even except for one, and the other one has all of the values being odd except for one, and you need to write the code to find the odd one out. So the main function, they give you the name of the function and the type of the input and the input name and the type of the return value. So line 16 there, that's pretty much given to you by their question, and then you just need to write the code to provide the correct answer. So what this is a check to see if the array is predominantly odd or even, which I do first. So I've created a variable which is mutable called odd count, same for even. This is kind of didactic for my purposes and for the sake of this video as well. So yeah, some of the solutions, this is advanced spoiler alert, some of the solutions are only about 3 lines. So yeah, don't treat this as the correct way. This is just a way, and it's my way, and it's how I've gone about achieving the correct answer, but not necessarily in the shortest fashion. So what I've done is a for loop. The for loop just iterates through, and basically it counts up the odd values and it counts up the even values, and then at the end I check if there's more odd values than even values, then I kind of know that it's an odd array, and then I start looking for an even value, and vice versa. So if I know that the array is predominantly even, then I go through and iterate through it. And I'm using modulus here, so I'm just saying if the value divided by modulo 2 is not equal to 0, then I'm returning that number. So this code actually works. I'll show you it working, but really probably the best way to learn from seeing this is to actually attempt the problem yourself. So the answer is 11, and that is because I've passed in this array. So 2's even, 4's even, 0's even, 100 is even, 4, you get the idea. So 11 is the odd one out. So really, I broke this problem down into 3 steps, and again, when you're learning, it's kind of, you've got the 2 problems, haven't you? One is actually solving the problem, and the other is actually writing the correct syntax in the new language that you are learning. So you need to actually know the steps of the problem before you even attempt to write the code. So what I really did here was step 1 on line 21, establish if the array is mainly odd or mainly even. Once I knew that, 29 and 36. So then once I knew if it was odd or even, I knew what I was looking for. So I knew that I was looking for an odd one if it was even, vice versa. So without further ado, let's so we've seen that the code works. Let's go across to, I've actually run my test. So these are actually the solutions now because I've already run the test and it did actually work. So sorry, I've zoomed in a bit too far there, but yeah. So here we go. This is my kind of confession here. I could have written it in that I'm guessing that's quite advanced. Best practice, clever. But you've got to start somewhere. So why not start and just find a solution, and then you can worry about refactoring it and reducing numbers. So let's just look at some of these. We've got map, abs. Oh, that was the other thing, abs. So that's going to convert the minus values to positive values. Casting as f at 64 there. Iter filter. So yeah, I was going along the right lines using iter. What else we got here? Find, filter. So filter seems to be cropping up quite a few times. I'm not so sure about this one, replace. That's almost as long as my solution. So yeah, you can come here and look at these for yourself. I'll put the link in the video description. I just thought I have to start somewhere with some actual difficult challenges, or difficult if you're coming from Python, just jumping straight in, solving problems on Codewars with a new language. What's this one doing? This is using, okay, public functions, lots of splitting up different functions. Find outlier. Yeah, again using modulo, lots of places there. Odds and evens, false. So yeah, again using booleans. Oh, here we got push. So push onto the stack using vectors as well. Obviously vectors are like arrays, but vectors you can grow. Yeah, collecting, using collect to collect values to populate a vector. Filter again. So there's some kind of common ideas here, or common traits, functions, methods, call it what you will. Yeah. I will post my code. So my code, again, 45 lines, but I didn't, some of the top is a comment, and I didn't write it to be concise. I wrote it to be easily understandable by me and anybody else who wants to look at it. So yeah, there we go. Codewars, and the question was parity. What was it? Parity. Find the parity outlier. So if you want to go on Codewars, check that out. The more problems you solve, the higher your rating goes, and ultimately you could possibly show this to a potential employer if you've got a really high rating. And yeah, the great thing is you can, once you've solved the problem or the challenge, you can look at other people's solutions, and obviously you don't have to be a rocket scientist to spot that some people's solutions are shorter, more concise than yours, but are they as easily understandable? And are they idiomatic? So just because they're short, they may be inspired by Java. I saw one here that was meant, there was, I think, oh yeah, this solution is heavily based on a Kartikai Java solution. So probably when you're learning, it's best to try and be very idiomatic and stick to the principles of the language you're learning. There we go. So Codewars. I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, thumbs up and all that. Thank you.